I think I'm the best landlord to ever live. Bold statement, but Jay is a bold man. First of all, I sourced all of my lodgers myself. Yeah? I didn't use estate agents. Yeah? They're a waste of time. Gumtree and spare room and all that. Yeah? I sourced all of them myself. Apart from the tenants that came through a friend. So I had a tenant in situ and they brought their friend along to rent a separate room. Yeah? Other than that, I sourced all of my tenants. And each and every one of them paid on time. Because as I said in that video, anyone who comes through the door for a viewing, the first thing I say to them within the next few minutes, if you fail to pay the rent, I'll serve you a notice, you need to leave. Yeah? So all of my tenants paid their rent. Yeah? So that's number one. But I think I'm the best landlord. Yeah? Number two, fast implementation. I never used to mess around. Anytime my tenants had any issues, they were on the phone to me and I used to take action. There's certain things you cannot sort out right then and there, but I used to always take action. Because I said to my tenants, because I knew, I'm not saying that they were scared of me, but it was almost like, you know how some people treat their boss like they don't really want to interact with them too much. There's a decent level of respect and there's a bit of fear. I kind of had my tenants like that, and I think that's how you're supposed to have it. I see my house, my property, as a workplace, and I'm the manager, I'm the boss, and they are the employee, whatever, innit? Yeah. Now, I did converse with them, but we weren't laughing and joking and stuff like that. There was always that kind of boundary that we never crossed or whatever, innit? But I was cool with it. But fast implementation. I remember one time, it was like the coldest day in England, at least one of them. It was in April of 2018 and it was freezing that day. You know, when just pretty much the whole country is just covered in snow and ice. And this house is fucking cold. Yeah, even in like autumn and spring, it's cold at times. It's not really energy efficient because there's lots of open space. There's no carpet downstairs. The radiators are shit as well. So this house is not good for energy or whatever. And the boiler broke down. My tenants phoned me up. Jay, the boiler's broke down or whatever, innit? Yeah. All right, cool. So I called the home emergency. They said that it's highly unlikely they're going to be able to get anyone out. I was on the phone to them for an hour, just waiting, literally. So I called him back and said, look, the home emergency are not going to be able to come and even look at the boiler, let alone repair it. Yeah. What you need to do is you need to go down to Argos and go and buy some fan heaters. Now, this guy didn't even have a car at the time. Yeah, so I said, look, cool. Don't worry about not having a car. I'll pay for your cab. Go and buy 2 fan heaters, one for you and one for your friend who's in the room next door. Go and buy 2 fan heaters, free of charge. You know, I'm paying for the cab, I'm paying for the fans, whatever. And he said he would do that, but the cabs aren't even running because the roads are so fucked. The cab service ain't even running. So I said, boy, all right, cool. I'm going to have to come down there myself. So I actually was going to go to Argos, buy the fan heaters and drive an hour and a half up to Northampton to give my tenants the fan heaters so that they keep warm. I can't have these men dying of pneumonia in the house. Who's going to pay the rent? That was a job. But seriously, I actually cared about my tenants, not just because, you know, they need to pay the rent or whatever. Yeah, I used to look after them. I even used to, when I used to have viewings with people, obviously I used to vet them and tell them, you know, if you don't pay the rent, you know, I'm going to serve you a notice, you need to leave. But I used to look out for my tenants' interest as well, because human beings, a lot of people are bullies, and if I brought in certain people, I could tell that this person is a strong character and they may try and bully one of my tenants. That would never happen under my watch. There's some landlords, they don't give a fuck. They don't care if one of the tenants out of the 2 are bullying the other one. They don't care. Me, no one is living under my roof and having any trouble with anyone. They ain't having no trouble with the neighbors. They ain't having no trouble within the house with the other tenants. Yeah. When I first moved to this house, or when I first bought the house, the lady next door said to me, oh, please find some new tenants, you know, because basically she didn't want any trouble. I was thinking to myself, don't worry about them, honey, yeah? I'm the trouble, yeah? Don't worry, they will behave themselves because they have me to answer to. So that's why I think I'm the best landlord to ever live, yeah? Fast implementation. You have to, you know, react to things straight away. You can't, there's some landlords out there, if the boiler broke down, Oh yeah, I'm busy. Yeah, and the tenants won't hear from the landlord for a few days. Nah, within the hour I'll be on the phone. Yeah, I said I would have gone all the way up to Northampton from London just to deliver them the fan heaters. And basically, my tenant, he knew a friend who was a gas engineer, and the friend came around to the house and temporarily repaired the boiler, and I just paid him £30 whatever in it. And I was happy that my tenants were able to sleep in a flipping warm house, because I'm telling you, this house becomes cold. But the reason why I learned to have fast implementation is because when I first bought this house, you know, you just think about the basics, gas and electricity and stuff. You know, is there a bed? I furnished the property. Obviously, I showed you that video already where I furnished the property. I had all of that in order. Do you know the one thing that I just kind of just forgot about? The internet. Listen, internet is like a utility. It literally is like water, gas, and electric. It's on those levels. Yeah? And what happened was I wanted to go with Sky, because Sky was about £18 for the month. So the engineer came to my house to install the wires or whatever. And basically I didn't have a BT TV point. And what happened was these houses were designed a certain way when they were first built. And what someone decided to do was put a radiator where the BT point was. So they cut the BT cable and removed the radiator and installed a new radiator. So there was no BT line in the house. But what the previous occupiers did was they had Virgin Media. But when I called up Virgin Media, they were telling me like some arms house money, £36 a month. I ain't paying that. So I said, oh yeah, don't worry about I'm thinking to myself, don't worry about the Virgin. I'm gonna go and get the Sky or whatever. These times I had my first tenant move in, her name was Josephine. I said to her, for example, she moved in on Monday. I said, yeah, don't worry, the internet will be on, like it'll be working on Tuesday, thinking that the Sky engineer is going to come and, you know, install the Sky internet. Nah, because there was no BT line in the house, or it was buried in the wall, they were talking about having to dig up the road and all kinds of craziness like that. I'm thinking, nah. So then I had to flip in more cool Virgin and, you know, apply for the internet subscription. That flipping took a week. And then when the internet modem did flipping arrive, no one was here to pick up the internet modem. I had to go all the way down to the Royal Mail, which took an extra 2 days or whatever, because they need to process it in the sorting office. It was long. My tenant was upstairs because she was basically from the Netherlands. She moved over here to become a nurse, and she hadn't started work yet. She was going to be off work for a week. And she sat up in that room for about a good week or so, just doing nothing. She had a TV, but she had no internet to connect to with the TV, and she was bored. I felt sorry for her, but I couldn't do anything about it. At the end of the day, if there's no internet, what can I do? But I've learned from that, make sure everything's in order and fast implementation. You can't be wasting no time. I will never make that mistake again with the internet. People see it as a man think, oh yeah, there's no internet. No, that's a serious thing, trust me. I've had a lot of guy tenants, and they're into their games and stuff like that. So if the internet is not even fast, they even ask you like, what's the speed of your internet or whatever, because they're playing games, they need to have a fast internet. So internet is flipping important, but that's why I think I'm the best landlord. Yeah. Obviously, you know, I get my rent paid to me, and fast implementation, and I care about my tenants. Yeah? I don't want my tenants being bullied by anyone within the house or any neighbours. Yeah? If they phoned me and said, this person's bullying me, you know, in the house, I'm coming down to that yard and you're getting evicted. Yeah? But if they say to me, oh, my neighbours, I'm coming down to the yard, I'm knocking on the neighbour's door. Don't fuck with my tenants. Yeah? My tenant flipping called me up and said to me, oh yeah, you know, can I get a reference for this new property that I'm going to start renting or whatever? And yeah, no problem, because obviously they want me to vouch for them so that they can prove that they pay their rent. Of course they can get that from me. Of course they paid their rent, because they won't be living in this house. No fuck about. Not one person failed to pay the rent. I had one tenant, he was a bit slow on paying the rent, but his friend used to top him up. So for example, say the rent was $350 a month. Sometimes I'd get £200 from this guy, and then the other guy would top up £150 on the same day. And then as long as I get that $350 from that one person, I ain't got no problem. But yeah, you know, my tenants phone me, oh yeah, can I have reference for this place to prove that Yeah, of course, I can prove that you paid your rent because you had to. You had to. Or you wouldn't be living there, boy. Stay wise.